Hey guys, welcome to TST Garage. I'm Bart, and today in this video, I'll be showing you how to install the TST Industries brake light modulator on your bike. Now, a brake light modulator, sometimes called a strobe, sometimes called a brake light flasher, what it does is basically enables you to install some electronics on your bike so that when you press your brakes, the brake light flashes in some kind of pattern and alerts the drivers behind you that you will be stopping. Our particular brake light modulator comes pre-wired to a plug that interfaces with a sub harness that we provide specific to your bike model that enables plug-and-play functionality with your bike. So that means that the installation is really fast and you can do it yourself. Now, the electronics inside, we do have the ability for you to program this unit to 3 different functions and then subsequently adjust the rate of the effect to your liking. Our first programmable mode is strobe alert. This mode will produce 9 flashes and then stay solid for the duration of the brake engagement. Second one is intermittent pulsar. Each cycle will flash 10 times and then pause. And then these cycles will repeat for the duration of the brake engagement. The last available option is pulsar, and this one just basically provides continuous flashing for the duration of the brake engagement. Now we will show you how to install this. It's really simple. And then after the installation chunk, I will show you in detail how to get inside here, how to program the different modes, and how to alter the rate of those different modes. We did think about the safety of such devices during the design phase. So we decided to design this in a way that it will be a pass-through component. In case you experience a failure on board here, it will just pass through your normal brake function, which means you press your brake light lights up, there's just no effect. In case you do experience that failure, we do offer a warranty, so we have guys standing by in our support department that will take your call, email, Facebook message, whatever, and we'll get you replaced. And that's pretty much it. Now, I'm really excited to show you guys just how easy this is to put on and configure. So let's get started.
To begin this installation, we will start by removing our passenger seat. Next, on this particular model, we will remove our rider seat. And then this lovely adapter plate. We use a size 6 hex bit or hex tool. Next, we will take a T25 Torx bit and remove this center bolt located right behind the main bolt. And lastly, we will grab a 4mm hex bit and remove these 2 bottom bolts. Now that we have gained access to our trunk compartment, we can follow the lead and find our main taillight connector. If you follow the port coming out of the back of the taillight, it's pretty simple. It's the black connector that sometimes finds itself locked into this grommet, and sometimes it's just floating around. We will remove it from the grommet and lift up on this tab, unlocking it, and then gently prying outward to disconnect. Next, we will grab our sub-harness for our brake light modulator and connect the mating connectors, 1 and 2. And lastly, we will go ahead and connect the main connector that plugs into our brake light modulator. Now, if I power on the bike, I should see functionality of the running light. And if I press the brakes, you can see, I don't know how well that's showing on camera, but we do have a strobe brake effect happening. I will power the bike down, and this installation is virtually complete. However, we really want to clean this up. So first, we are going to use the appropriate grommet and put the main connector in that housing. That has fixed one half of the problem. We will tuck the rest underneath And it's really tough. There's not a lot of surface area for us to cinch down onto, but I do think that if we go underneath, carefully routing these cables, we can find a house right there. So we really have two options. We can go here, or if you want it a little bit more accessible, as Bart mentioned, this is programmable, so you can pop the cap off and change the mode and the speeds. If you want it a little bit more in your face, you can actually secure it right here. And I think that's going to be the spot I choose. And we will grab one of the included zip ties and route it through this support beam underneath the lock for the seat, and make sure we are cinched down into the channel molded into our brake light modulator. So first we're gonna now we do include a secondary zip tie. If you are the type that likes that added security, maybe this location or this location would be better for you. There's really not a lot of hard frame components that you can zip tie onto because of these supports that they have. So finding a place that's out of the way that you're happy with is going to be the correct answer for your application. We're going to snip off the excess material on the zip tie and just tuck it down. And that's really clean. I'm happy with that. Now we can begin the reassembly process. And first we will reinstall this base plate. And as we do this, this will give us a really good idea and confirmation that what we have done is not in the way. And I would say we are good to go. We'll grab the smaller 4mm bolts and line this up. Next, we will grab the larger main bolts. Always begin them by hand. Get as far as you can to ensure you are not cross-threading. And next, we will grab our Torx bolt and our T25 Torx bit, reinstall this behind the main center bolt that we just inserted. And for this one, all you really want to do is bottom it out by hand. And lastly, we will go ahead and use our tool to ensure all of these bolts are tightened. So I usually try to go to bottom out and then another 1/4 to a 1/2 inch turn, depending on how far you were able to go. There you are. We'll grab our 4mm bolt one more time, or 4mm hex tool, and just bottom these out, make sure they're loaded. And we are good to go. Put our rider seat back on. Our passenger seat or seat cowl. And before we button this up completely, let's just go ahead and test this one more time. You can see our brake light, running light does work, and we are getting a strobe effect.
For mode selection and rate adjustment, we will need to get inside this capsule to access the electronics. These two Phillips head screws will need to be removed. What I like to do is unscrew them until they disengage from the receiving threads and leave them in the cap. Otherwise, it's pretty easy to lose them. If we pull them off with the cap, they are self-captive. All right, now we'll identify the parts here. This button is the mode selector, and this potentiometer is your rate adjuster. Clockwise is faster, counterclockwise is slower. Let's first do our selection of modes. With the brake pressed, press the button once to toggle to the next available program. Now the brake does have to be pressed so that the unit powers up, otherwise you won't be able to make the selection. If you find that you've pressed the button but the selection has not been changed, just do it again with the brake pressed. So now we will go on to the next program, press the brake once more, Press the button once, and now you're in the next mode. Now we've switched twice, so pressing it one more time will return to the original mode that your unit arrived in. Now for rate adjustment, we'll be using the potentiometer. With the brake pressed, we can turn it clockwise to make it go faster, counterclockwise to decrease the rate. Now in brake alert, you will only have 9 flashes to make your adjustment, and then it'll stay solid. This one doesn't actually lend itself to really fast flashing at the top of the range. Bottom of the range is unusable, so I like to set it somewhere towards 3/4 to maybe 80% clockwise, and that does it for me. Now if we change to the next one, this one is pulsar, and this one just keeps on flashing, so I like to have it going pretty fast here. Choice is really up to you. If you want to explore the next mode, we have the intermittent pulsar. This one to me belongs somewhere close to the top of the range, makes it the most visible. But again, freedom means choice. The decision is ultimately up to you. Once you're done with your adjustment and you're where you want to be with all your modes and rates, replace the cap, turn the screws back in, and it really is just that simple. Replace your brake light modulator in the space that you decided to keep it, and you're good to go.